My name is Dr. Álvaro Huerta, and I'm an associate professor at Cal Poly Pomona. I'm also an organizing fellow at the Harvard Divinity School. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Moore and her team for inviting me to be part of an amazing program. In terms of my research interest, I focus a lot on immigration, informal economy. I also look at ethnic studies, race and racism in this country. And overall, my interests have to do with my training at UCLA and UC Berkeley, where I received my bachelor's, my master's, my Ph.D. In addition to my academic training, most of my work, which also involves organizing, has a lot to do with my own personal background. While I was born in the US, I spent 4 years of my life in a Mexican slum in Tijuana. My family then moved to Hollywood for 2 years. And thereafter, we spent 10 years living in housing projects in East Los Angeles. There, I experienced abject poverty, violence, which was one of the incentives for me to leave and enter UCLA in 1985 as a 17-year-old math major. Once I got to UCLA, I realized that there was something wrong with society because I was literally the only brown person in my math program. You're talking about thousands of students and only myself, coming from poor immigrant parents, coming from the projects. And as a result, my organizing career or my vocation for organizing, started at UCLA in the mid 1980s, where there were many issues that we were dealing with. Undocumented students were being attacked. There was apartheid in South Africa. Nelson Mandela was in jail. The United States was involved in Central America. So that propelled me to do something, to be an actor, for social change. And now that I'm an academic, and now that I'm here at Harvard, I want to bring all of my personal experiences, all of my organizing experiences to the Harvard Divinity School to help motivate and encourage the graduate students to also be engaged in social justice, to also be engaged in racial justice. For me, this is a calling. It's not something that I wanted to do. It's something that I feel like I have to do. I strongly believe that those of us with privilege must use our privilege for the public good. For those of us that speak English in this country, that's privilege. For those of us who have degrees in this country, that's privilege. So what do we do with that privilege? Do we just use it to accumulate wealth? Do we just use it to become upwardly mobile? Or do we use it in the service of the poor? Do we use it as Father Gregory Boyle from Homeboy Industries, when he talks about those on the margins, to serve those on the margins, to allow for people that from the margins to have better opportunities that this country does not allow them to have. So for me, this is why I want to be here. This is where I belong. And I'm very excited about working with the graduate students at the Harvard Divinity School, where I'm not interested in lecturing. I'm not interested in hectoring. I'm not interested in anything of that nature. Like Pablo Freire, I'm interested in engaging in dialogue. I'm interested in learning from all of you, and where we all learn from each other to become better activists, to become better human beings, to make a world that's better for everyone, especially los de abajo. Muchas gracias.